All right, welcome back. Hope all of you are doing well. Busy day today cutting grass, and I was worn out. But I feel good. I feel good when it's warm and no snow and ice. Let's see. I am on my end. I'm on split screen. I do not see anybody in the chat yet. Maybe someone will pop in. Sorry, I missed some of you last night. I waited till about 5 minutes and I didn't see anybody. So I ended the chat early last night. As a reminder, you can download these if you prefer no ads downloads. Listen to these as a podcast. Check out the Patreon TOS Today page down below in the show notes, and you can download these with no ads in podcast format for as little as $1 a month if you like listening to this type of stuff. I mean, come on, it's $1 a month. It's not even a cup of coffee. You see what I'm saying? All right, I'm just being silly. But do check it out if you like listening to this type of content and support Total OS Today, technology for beginners and beyond. All right, let's play a tune, and I'll be back. Oh man, that was almost too much funk for me. That was Canada's super jazz group 480 East, and the song is called Bumper to Bumper. Yeah, driving in traffic today. It's a perfect song, I suppose. You can check out 480 East on Amazon, the link below in the show notes. And as always, you can download these shows in podcast format with no interruptions, no ads. Just go to the Patreon page for TOS Today below in the show notes. Cool song. Love it. Check out, again, 480 East, Bumper to Bumper. Okay. We're going to talk. This is open chat night. I do these at random. We do have somebody in the chat. We have Bad Wolf Plays 66. Well, I hope you don't play that bad, Wolf. Welcome to tonight's live stream. Great to have you here. Again, open chat night. Feel free to state your opinions. Family friendly, of course. Just a few topics: AI and the future of internet privacy. Let me refresh my chat here. And okay, looks like it's just you and I, Bad Wolf. That's fine with me. Okay, let me do this on my end. Here we go. Let's transition. The future of internet privacy. It's I can't help but think of the word oxymoron. You know, when you compare two unlike things, I guess a classic example is parting is such sweet sorrow. Well, which is it? Is it sweet or is it sorrow? So yeah, the internet is just the opposite of privacy, and let's face it, it's not coming back. Best you can do is limit the amount of data you dump on the internet, but in terms of privacy, it doesn't exist. So when I say internet privacy, it's kind of like I'm tongue-in-cheek, I guess, trying to be funny, but it really isn't funny. But there are things that you can do to limit the amount of yourself on the internet. I think you can. So for those of you watching this podcast, I have just a graphic here on the screen. 3 points here, and there's many more, but I just thought I would keep this simple for this show. All right, better global regulations such as the GDPR, the Global Data Protection Regulations Law. This we spoke about this back in pre-pandemic 2019 with my good friend Stephanie, who lives in Germany, and they've had this since 2018. And she says this GDPR actually works. She was getting virtually no spam emails, calls, so the law, at least back in 2019, seemed to work. Again, it's the GDPR, and maybe we can talk more about this in a future show. But all right, so better global regulations such as the GDPR. Number 2, enhanced AI tools can help. But, you know, AI can also take anything fake and make it real. So, yeah, you can search the web for AI tools to, you know, better protect yourself, and that's fine. But just like any tool, you can use it for construction or destruction. And it makes me wonder which end controls the world most, construction or destruction for AI tools. Something to think about. And last but not least, number 3, decentralized technologies such as Mysterium VPN. Full disclosure, this is not a sponsored video by them, but Mysterium VPN is a global VPN with no central servers or personal data logs, residential IPs for smoother connection, built-in kill switch to ensure safety, and there may be some other features. Again, just doing some quick research for tonight's stream. So the future of internet privacy, it's going to depend how you define privacy. We've talked about this till I'm blue in the face. Privacy in today's world just does not exist the way at least I would define privacy, maybe you. Yeah, you can use VPNs and use Linux and use this and that to limit the amount of data you put on the web. But if you think if you use this or that you are now private, okay, well then who's watching the VPN? It's a never-ending cycle, but the internet is a great invention by man. You know, I was watching Bill Maher the other night, and when he does his new rules at the end, does a little shtick. He says, humans are great. We were smart enough to create the internet, but then years ago we broke the internet by showing Kim Kardashian's ass or something like that. I know it was a family show, but I think I could say that. It didn't literally break the internet, but I guess some servers got overloaded with millions and millions of views. So take it for what it's worth. Internet privacy on the web, the way I see it, does not exist. But you should certainly secure yourself as much as possible. An example of privacy on the phone, or not so much privacy, but security. Like on my phone, I have no banking apps, zero, zilch, no Venmo, no Apple Pay. I mean Google Pay, nothing, zero on my phone, nothing. I think that helps me become a little bit more secure. It seems to be working, but on my phone at least, I have zero money information. Nada. Nothing. And so far, for me at least, it appears to be working. Okay, so before I continue, if there's anybody else in the chat besides Bad Wolf Play 66, please do stop in and say hello. I love chatting with you guys virtually as much as possible. So if you're in there for tonight's stream, again, don't be shy. You don't have to give your real name or anything, and feel free to state your opinion for tonight's topics. Or if you want to talk about Linux and Windows and the future of operating systems, because that all plays a role into the future of AI. Well, speaking of AI, I had a comment. I use AI sparingly. And by the way, this is my real voice. This is not AI. Okay? Formerly a New Yorker. Sometimes sometimes you can hear it in my voice, my slang, comes out. But this is my real voice. I use AI sparingly. It's fun. Like for tonight's logo you see here on the screen, Total OS Today. I did this with AI. It's you know what? It's not harming anybody. I think it looks pretty cool. It's fun. But in terms of the shows, very little AI. Again, it has been and always will be my voice. Sometimes I may use AI voices for a specific topic. But in terms of who's running the show, it's me, a real human being, a real voice. But somebody had commented that I should not be using AI at all because what's the word that was used? And I'm sorry if you watch this, I forget your name. Anyway, that person said don't use AI at all because it cheapens the channel or it devalues the channel or something like that. And I thank him for his opinion. But this is primarily a technology channel. Usually, now sometimes, in the past I've had musical guests on, for fun and all that, and other topics, jokes and stuff like that. But this is primarily a technology channel for beginners and beyond, as it were. And AI is technology. It's here. It's the future. It's not going away. So if I don't talk about it and give examples, I think I'm doing a disservice to the subscribers who follow this channel for this kind of content. At least that's my opinion. Now, I will not have AI dominate this channel. It's always going to be my voice. As I said, I'll use some AI for fun, like this thumbnail, but it's a tool. Hopefully, I use it as a tool for construction and not destruction. So we have a comment here. People can use what they want. I say that, but I'm not a fan of AI. Don't use it. Yeah, it's Last fall, I was listening to the interview with James Cameron. He was talking right before the release of Avatar 3 Fire and Ash. And he was asked, what is the greatest threat to humanity? I thought he was going to say AI. But his answer was the greatest threat to humanity is humanity. Makes sense because humanity creates the AI, which someday has apparently a 10 to 20% chance of destroying us. I forget the scientist's name, but the godfather of AI, that's what he's been called, made a statement a few years ago that he believes there is a 10 to 20% chance or more of AI, well, taking over, such as in a Terminator world, destroying us humans. You know, one of my theories of how that could possibly happen, and I hope it does not happen, obviously, is what if two competing AIs wanted to dominate us and the AIs have an AI war for control of us and we get caught in the middle and we all die until one of them is dominant. That's just a theory on how I think this might happen in the future. But look, AI can be helpful. You know, it can be fun. But look, human beings are inherently stupid. Which is why we have laws, we have the Bible, the Ten Commandments, a belief in God and all that. Human beings are inherently stupid. And just as easy it is for us to create things, we can destroy things. So again, AI is a tool like a hammer. I seldom use a hammer. I don't use it every day, just like I don't use AI every day. But I guess the point I'm getting at, AI is here to stay and it's not going away. But it should not control your life. Yes, AI can take anything fake and make it look, well, scaringly, surprisingly real. And sometimes it's fun, you know, watching these animal videos, dogs and cats laughing and you know, fighting and cheering, dancing. It is hilarious. It's a break from you know from the daily grind. Um, it is fun to watch, but it's also scary. So we have to be aware of that. Yeah, so the comment that here in the chat says, I agree, look at the split we're in now. As for AI, it's still in how the models are trained. And if people on both sides of the political spectrum train the models, we'll have issues. Yeah, I was hearing something about, I guess teenagers, people were using AI to replace human interaction, human companionship. And the AI giving very bad advice. I won't go into further details, but very bad advice to that, you know, kid on how to deal with the problem. But you are right. How are the models trained? I don't know where this is going to end. I really don't know at this point. I guess we'll have to wait and see, maybe a few more years. But sometimes it is scary. And you know, and I mean, right now here in the States, the politics of Washington, it's a complete mess in Washington. It's all I can say is never underestimate the power of stupidity. For this mess that we're in, and not just the AI mess and technology mess. But time will tell where all this leads to, and I certainly hope it's not self-destruction. You know, we're capable of doing amazing things. Really are. You know, life is precious. You know, the value of life cannot be measured. It is precious, and we all have to find a way to, you know, be cognizant of that. Okay, let me play a little snippet. I'm sure many of you have heard of the terrific human being astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's been hosting the podcast Star Talk over 10 years now. Great podcast. He has guests on. One of his last, former guests was, of course, James Cameron. But he brings the science of the universe down to earth to where us, earthlings, dummies can understand it in plain terms. He does a great job of doing that. He has written multiple books, and one of his books is called Starry Messenger, and he read a paragraph out of that. Again, all of this, they're just check out the links below in the show notes, or just go to Amazon and search Neil deGrasse Tyson. But he speaks about a minute on the mathematics of life and how precious life is, and how lucky we are to be alive on this little blue planet of ours. So, if I may, and I don't know if YouTube will block this out, but let me play a little snippet here. It's about a minute of a paragraph on the value of life, as it were, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Do you really know how precious life is? The total number of people who have ever been born is about 100 billion. Yet the genetic code that generates viable versions of us is capable of at least 10 to the 30th variations. That astronomically huge number is a 1 followed by 30 zeros, producing a million trillion possible souls. Each of us, for all practical purposes, is unique in the universe, now and forever. Being alive is the time to celebrate being alive, every waking moment. Along the way, why not strive to make a world a better place today than yesterday, simply for the privilege of having lived in it?
Well, what can I say? Amen to that, man. Yeah, being alive is the best time to be alive today. So, yeah, check out Neil deGrasse Tyson on the terrific show called Star Talk, and of course his books on Amazon. Wonderful human being. One of his latest videos, he talks about a scientist's view of war, about the history of war, and his thoughts on how to make the world a better place. He has optimism in spite of what's going on today. So good for him, and so do I. Yeah, the comment here says everything is falling apart on both sides of the political arena. I sit in the middle and lean left and right. Life. I'm not a politician or a scientist, but life is about balance. It's the balance of life, the harmony of nature. You need a little bit of to appreciate being quote unquote liberal. You need to understand what it means to be conservative, and vice versa. It's like I say, it is the balance of life, a little bit of both, to find the perfect mix. And finding the perfect mix of anything, I suppose, has always been a challenge, but I try to live life by philosophies of life. One of my philosophies is to be like the sun and let what is inside you warm the earth. The wise man always walks with his head bowed, with grace and humility, always cherishing the value of life. To use a cliche, stop and smell the roses, will you? Human beings have to come first before any political ideology. And that appears to be lacking today. I think most Americans, we have a sense of right or wrong on both sides. Anyway, I'll just leave it at that as far as the politics goes. Well, for tonight's show, I am using the latest Ubuntu, waiting for the finalized version for the new one, 2604, but the latest one is 2510 Ubuntu on a Ryzen 7 machine. And I must say that Ubuntu with the Wayland display driver runs pretty good on this Ryzen 7. I did some research before buying this used HP, and the information I got is that the Ryzen 7 with AMD graphics is a perfect marriage for Wayland display driver, and that's good because there aren't too many perfect marriages, it seems, here here in the United States. At least I can say I got one. It's not me. I'm no longer married, but at least my computer is happily married with Ubuntu. Who knew? All right, it looks like a quiet night in the chat, but I'll stick around a few more minutes. Bad Wolf Place is still here. Thanks for sticking around. Great to have you here. I'll wait a little bit longer, see if anybody else chimes in for tonight's chat. You know, post-pandemic, I don't know when to schedule these anymore. I've tried the weekends, that didn't work, and maybe I should try that again. I don't know, but I do miss when we would have the regular shows on the weekends that have people in the chat and comments, and people would donate to the channel, and I would have topics ready to go. It just seems like it is a changed world post pandemic, that's for sure. And I kind of miss those pre-pandemic times, but that being said, I do these shows at random times, so if you haven't already, make sure you are subscribed and clicking the notification bell when I do jump on, and so we can have some more fun with all of this crazy technological world. All right, did I see something about that the US is banning routers? I didn't catch it all. What the heck is that all about? Is there now malware in routers, or are these routers defective or spyware? It seems like every day there's some. Here we go. Once again, internet privacy. Haha. It's just impossible. At least that's how I see it. Yeah, the comment here is my dad used to say that life is funny. No one knows what it's going to bring. We have to live it to understand. But life is precious, even if at times we forget that. 100% agree. When I was talking to a friend of my dad's in Italy, the film director for my dad's film The Value of Life, I had asked him, what was the purpose of the film? Is there a message? And he says, yeah, the message of the film is for us humans to return to our lost values of humans. Just a simple message, and I couldn't agree more. It's easy to forget what's important in life. Technology is great, but it shouldn't replace our humanity. I have an ex-wife who is on disability with fibromyalgia. I guess there's no cure for it. It's treatable. So I've helped her out with the bills, fixing her car. I am not under any legal obligation to, but that's not the value of life. I consider myself pro all life and not pro selective life. I think America strives to be pro-life, but it's more like selective life, if that makes any sense. That's not pro-life. That is just delusional. Anyway, so Bad Wolf says, after all these years, you're still running Arch. Okay. You got an AMD 7900 and then 7900. Oh, you got a XTX. The routers being banned are foreign ones that can bypass certain things. Okay, I'll have to do some more research about it, but yeah. Global connection, global threats. Here we go again. Internet privacy. You have to be aware. And don't confuse privacy with security. It's not the same. Okay. Let's give this a 5-minute last call for the show tonight. There was something else I wanted to say. What was I going to say? But I am tired cutting grass today. It was the first cut of the season, and my body isn't used to it. It was a nice workout. Yeah. The one of the I played a little joke, as it were, with two competing AIs, Gemini and Chat GPT. I asked them both what is the best Linux-based system, and they both gave somewhat diplomatic, fair answers, I thought. But one of them replied, since you've used this before for your Total OS Today technology channel and you like Linux, we recommend you try Arch Linux. I'm like, forget about it. This channel was designed not just for Linux users, but really for all 1 billion plus, maybe 1.5 billion Windows users who are curious about Linux and want to, avoid all the fluff, as it were. I am never going to recommend Arch to a new user, but the AIs didn't know that. They just see Total OS Today technology for beginners and beyond. Maybe they got the beyond stuck in their head. But that made me laugh. So, and they were talking about what was the best Linux. It's kind of like people buying the Toyota Camry because the Camry has the most users. Well, the car is popular because it's the most reliable with a lot of drivers. I get what the AI was trying to say, but you know what? It made me laugh, so why not? So Bad Wolf says, I'm not up on the tech stuff. I'm good with what I have. I future-proofed my system. Also, I'm going to need to stop being lazy with Linux. Well, with the age stuff and other things being added, yeah, that's another topic. Age verification. I'm sure kids are not going to lie about their age. Oh, no. Like I said, never underestimate the power of stupidity. Anyway. Yeah, check out, what did I do? Check out something called Ageless Linux on how to bypass all that. Evidently. Ageless Linux. Check it out. I did use, just for fun, AI for a Total OS Today theme song. Let me see if I have it here saved on this desktop, and I'll play it, and you can let me know what you think. I think it's kind of snappy, kind of catchy. Let me see if I can find it here real quick. Hang on one sec. Okay, this is the, I guess we can call it the official Total OS Today theme song. This is AI generated, family friendly, of course. Let me play this, and you tell me what you think. Okay?
Total OS today. Total OS today. Total OS today. Total OS today.
What do you think? It's kind of bright, cheerful, you know. Yeah, I like it. What can I say? But anyway, so yeah. Total OS today. I can't sing, but yeah. Yes, we comment says we've all lied about our age at some point. Ageless is a no-go. It basically tells the government to suck it and come get me. Laughing out loud. Uh, I I really don't know. It's yeah, it's a complicated subject to say the least, and we could probably talk about this all night. But I don't know. That's another thing, another technological advancement, as it were. Where does it go? Well, thank you. Bad Wolf says, not bad. It's bright and happy. Yeah, we need more bright and happy, right? In today's world, bright and happy with Total OS today. I like that. Yeah, it's almost like watching a cartoon theme song or something like that. You know. I remember when my son was born years ago. We used to watch Teletubbies. Time for Teletubbies. That was bright and happy. Anyway, I'm in a bright and happy mood tonight. But yeah, I think I might keep it. Total OS today. Hey, maybe I can pick up chicks with that. You never know. Anyway. All right. Bad Wolf, is there anything else tonight before I wrap this up? So you'll just code in a toggle to disable the H stuff. I just need to stop being lazy. Aha. Okay. Yeah, it's look, I get it. We're politicians are trying to do something to protect kids online, such as the problem of cyberbullying. I get it. They're trying to do something, and I can't fault them for that, but I don't think this is going to work. So what does work? Well, education, strong families, family values, appreciating the value of life, sensible laws, being healthy. How about universal health care for all, like other countries have? Not just physical health, but mental health. All this plays a role in not just protecting kids, but protecting life. Again, that's my non-political opinion about all this. Yeah, if I had the resources, meaning money, I would run as an independent. And my slogan would be, come join us for the value of life. Just that. That would be just a simple slogan. Bad Wolf says, good short stream. Too bad no one else popped in. I think we could have gone into a nice conversation. I totally agree. Yeah, like I said, I don't know when to do these shows. Those of you who listen to this later on, again, just post your comments below, and if you would like to sponsor a live show anonymously, please let me know. You can pick a topic and we'll schedule it like we used to do back in the good old days, as the cliche goes. I miss those days. I really do. Anyway, I think that's all I have for tonight. It's just turning 10 p.m. here where I live. So let me play the Total OS theme song one more time, and that's it for tonight. Bad Wolf, thank you for stopping by. Great to have you here.